Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
Yo, what's going on, Xbox and YouTube? Now, welcome to Battlefield 1, the closed beta on PC. Now, this game, I can tell you guys, is a total COD killer, and I have a hard time believing that even anybody I know will be playing Call of Duty over Battlefield 1, even the longtime Call of Duty fans that I have within my friends list. So, with that being said, that is actually saying a lot about this game, and like I have said in previous videos about Call of Duty, that Call of Duty is so futuristic and based so far into the future that it is impossible to put yourself within the shoes of the soldier. Now, within World War I in Battlefield 1, this is 100% possible, and I'm sure every one of us knows somebody or has somebody in their family that was involved with World War I in some fashion. So it is much more relatable and much easier to understand what you are doing within the game and how things as far as weapons and vehicles have evolved. And when you are flying a plane or driving a tank or driving one of the other vehicles within the map, you are not constantly asking yourself, how does this make sense? It feels very natural, and there is just way more going on within this game than I would have to say any futuristic Call of Duty game. And even stacked up against Battlefield 4, this game has way more going on as far as destruction, explosions, different weather effects. You guys will notice throughout the games that the weather on the map continuously changes. And there is no set determination on when or where or how the weather changes. You may go a game or two games without the weather changing at all, and then you might play a game where the weather changes 3 to 5 times throughout the entire game. So, regardless of how many times I have played this map, the map continuously feels fresh, and it feels like a brand new playstyle and a brand new map altogether. So each time the weather changes, you literally feel as if you are playing a completely different game or a different map, mainly because depending on whether it is rainy, foggy, sunny, you have different limitations on your visibility within the game, so that will naturally affect your playstyle. So when it is foggy in the game, you are more likely to move a very close quarters style or a two-man team running 2 at a time as 2 cover and the other 2 run. So depending on whether or not it is foggy, sunny, or a mixture of all 3, you are probably going to select totally different things within the game. So like I said, if it is foggy, you are more than likely not going to be picking a sniper within the map, mainly because your visibility is nearly cut in half. So sniping on the map does not make much sense. So when the map is foggy, you will probably see more people playing in a close quarters combat play style with light machine guns, submachine guns, and assault rifles. And you will also see less and less people flying around when it is foggy, mainly because of the almost zero visibility and the inability to see or understand your altitude within the game. But these are all much welcomed improvements to the battlefield because it just forces you to think just that little bit more about what you are going to do and how you are going to set up your classes to best suit the occasion. And like I said, every game and every time you play a map, there is no guarantee it will be the same exact style compared to the game that you played beforehand. So there is no one class fits every map within this game, or at least that is how it is at the moment. Now, you can only get about 3 weapons per class within this game at the moment in the closed beta, but what I can tell you that is different compared to Battlefield 4 within Battlefield 1 is that there is no confusing customizable weapons within the game. Now, for most people that played Battlefield 4 consistently and constantly, they are more likely to understand and know what the best class setups are, but realistically, there are just too many variables in Battlefield 4 to make a really level playing field. So what makes Battlefield 1 different is you can customize your weapon, but only to an extent. So you can only change certain aspects about your gun, whether it be the iron sight that you are looking down. So if you would rather a reflex sight or an ACOG sight, you have to select a totally different weapon. There is no completely customizing your weapon at this time within the closed beta. Now, I do understand that there are going to be different ways that you can modify each gun, but with my understanding, I understand that it is going to be a lot less compared to Battlefield 4. Therefore, removing a bunch of variables that made Battlefield 4 play very unfair at some times and in some maps, such as the meat grinder. I don't even remember the map, but I'm sure if you played Battlefield 4 on PC, you know exactly what the meat grinder is and what it is all about. It is basically just a clusterfuck of gunfire and explosions. So I think DICE really wants to steer away from that type of gameplay and get into a more team-based, organized style of gameplay that more accurately reflects how wars are actually fought. Now, this game is not 100% legit in everything that happens within the game, but I feel like it is much more realistic compared to Battlefield 4, therefore making it much more easy to understand. And when you can understand something a lot easier, obviously it will make you much better at the game that you are playing, or it will increase the amount of time, or it will decrease the amount of time it takes for you to get good at the game. So that is a really awesome thing, and I think they really thought this through nicely, because now in Battlefield 1, as you guys can tell, you can fly around the map without really having to worry about a Stinger missile or a rocket launcher of some form taking you down almost the minute you spawn. Now, there is a lot of dogfighting within this game as far as flying around, but I am totally welcome to the idea of a real dogfight and not this futuristic stuff we have seen in previous Battlefields. There has also been a ton of progression when it comes to Levolution, from exploding tanks with tank grenades to basically being able to destroy almost every building within the map within reason. Now, obviously, for obvious reasons, you cannot completely level the map, otherwise you would just be playing on a massive flat field. So a lot of the buildings that you see are brick and mortar, tend to stay there, but a lot of the buildings, for the most part, can be completely destroyed. So if a sniper wants to hunker down in the top of a building, shooting people out of a very small attic window, well, you can just take a very clever shot with your hand cannon or with a ground-based cannon at the building and completely level the entire attic where the sniper would be located. So those are really awesome and realistic additions to Levolution within Battlefield 1. Now, there is nothing that I would define as Battlefield 4 Levolution, at least within this map, other than exploding or blowing up the Zeppelin that flies around the map. Now, the thing with the Zeppelin, which took me forever to figure out and understand, was how do you get the Zeppelin? What team gets the Zeppelin, and why do they get the Zeppelin? Is it a button that you have to press? Is it a base that you have to control to get the Zeppelin? And I am so happy to find out that it is not a weapon that you can pick up on the ground or a battle pickup like Star Wars Battlefront, nor is it a base on the map. Now, what makes this game play so much more in a fair aspect compared to Battlefield 4 is whenever you start to lose ridiculously. So if your team is really getting fucking laid out and you see or feel like there is no hope left for your team and you are just going to lose regardless, here comes the Zeppelin to the savior or to the rescue. Now, the team that is losing, now I'm not sure at what point during the game this happens, but whatever team is losing, I would imagine about halfway through the game, automatically gets a Zeppelin deployed for them. So it literally almost turns the battle on its head. So if you are the team winning, Now you have this massive airship above you that can fire down explosive rounds and shoot machine guns that have rounds the size of tennis balls coming out of them at you, and there is almost nowhere to hide. The only way you can really get away from the Zeppelin is to get lucky and not have them notice you, or basically hide in the corner of a building. So the Zeppelin to a certain degree can be a very overwhelming power pickup, but I am totally for it. Now on to one of the most talked about features within Battlefield 1, and that is the ability to throw gas grenades and put on your gas mask. Now every player within the game and every class within the game comes standard with a gas mask. Now the only downside to putting your gas mask on is that you are no longer allowed to aim down sight. So if you are using a shotgun, this is probably right in your bag, because who really needs to aim down sight with a shotgun? But putting your gas mask on with any other class such as a sniper, light machine gun, or assault rifle completely hinders your ability to aim down your sight, therefore leaving you extremely vulnerable. So your best bet is to most likely just try to avoid all mustard gas. But once again, that is another feature that has been added to Battlefield 1 that just forces you to think about something that you normally do not have to think about within a first-person shooter, therefore adding more and more realism to the game. So I just completely love the idea of having gas masks and gas grenades. Now, it would be completely unfair if everybody didn't come equipped with a gas mask, but it is just one of the coolest features in the game, and once again, it just makes you think a little bit more within the heat of the moment when you are in a close quarters battle or situation. Now on to the ability to bayonet charge somebody with any gun almost within the game. Any primary weapon will have a bayonet on the front of it, and if you would like to bayonet charge somebody, all you have to do is hold your melee button down, whether on your keyboard or on your controller. Now, there is one major flaw, or maybe it is not a flaw, but it is designed to make you think whether or not it is worth using a bayonet charge. But once you start a bayonet charge, there is no way to cancel it out other than running at a wall, basically. And then once you stop bayonet charging and you do not kill or hit somebody, you are not allowed to run for a good 3 to 5 seconds, therefore leaving you 100% exposed without the ability to run. You could crouch or lay down, but that just leaves you even more exposed. So they give you this major fork in the road to honestly think about whether you want to bayonet charge the guy and risk missing him and allowing him to get the upper hand, or are you going to run in guns blazing and completely forget about the bayonet charge. So those are two extra things that you have to think about when encountering a close quarters battle. But with that being said, guys, I hope I've opened your perspective on Battlefield 1 and the gameplay within it. And if I have, please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. And I will see you all on the next one. Peace.